It's the PFS safety meeting for the week of May 20th, 2019. Talking a little bit about fire extinguishers this week. As you can see, I know some of you had some experience with them here lately. That hopefully my videos work properly here. Which that one sure doesn't. There we go. Now, that one I'll tell you about that. That's the pass method. And neither one of them are going to work worth a darn here for me today.
Anybody know what PASS stands for on a fire extinguisher?
Pull, aim, sweep,
squeeze. Yeah, we'll talk about those since neither one of my videos want to work right here tonight. But on your trucks, what are your DOT mandated fire extinguishers? Which ones are required? Yeah, or I'm looking where is the one that they're going to look for in an audit or an inspection, roadside inspection. It's going to be in the cab. It's the one in your cab that's DOT mandated. If it's on the trailer, it's in plain view, so it's fair game for them to look at. That one's part of our policy. You have to have a fire extinguisher by your controls when you're loading and unloading. We put that there so it's right there for you.
Does anybody know what the minimum size of a fire extinguisher you need to have just if you're driving your tractor around? I do believe on the tractor it's just a 5, but what about hazmat?
20.
20 or 2 tenths. That's right. 20 or 2 tenths. I got 5.
Yeah, so we want that one on the trailer. Make sure you inspect that. When we do audits, we find that one empty quite often. I've had a couple incidents where one got pulled off when it hit a fence and never got replaced, which really led to a problem for Chad when they're loading and all of a sudden he has a truck fire. And he's got the tractor fire extinguisher, but had he not caught it soon enough, that was fairly small. But we had none on the back end of that trailer that he needed. Probably would have been quicker and easier to put out instead of having to get it out of the cab. Inspection tags. We got to check those inspection tags. They need to either be punched or initialed. Invest in a fine point Sharpie and put your initials on them. Because your highway patrolmen do look at that to see if it's been signed off monthly. Just like we're behind on our building here, we have to sign off on all of them monthly in here also. If it has an inspection tag, it needs to be signed. We talked about what is that pass method. You're going to pull the pin, aim low at the base of the fire, squeeze and sweep. And never turn your back on a fire if you think it's out, because it could come back with a vengeance. That second video I wanted to show that didn't work was we talk about using the proper class fire extinguisher for the fire you're dealing with. And that one, he has the wrong class, and it started that whole field on fire in a tree because it was the wrong class. It just blew the fire like a flamethrower. So we want to make sure we use the proper one. And if you go to use this, what's the life of your fire extinguisher? Any ideas? Till it's out. Yeah. 15 seconds or less is about all the life on them. Once you pull that trigger. You know, those smaller ones, maybe 5 to 10 seconds worth, but it's a short life. If that does not extinguish the fire and it keeps going, it's time to get out of there. And what happens if you catch fire?
Stop, drop, and roll.
Exactly. Stop, drop, and roll. Cover your face with your hands.
Jump in the oil, smother it out.
Yeah. And what are some of our other safe work practices we should think about? We have to have FRs on location, so have your FRs. If you're picking up hot stuff, have some good heavy gloves on that aren't oil soaked and all of that good stuff.
Do your FRs help you if they're rolled up to your forearms and unbuttoned and
Nope.
underneath your coat?
From there to there, they do.
Yeah. Well,
Coat over because I don't want them to get hurt.
full long sleeves, all the way down, button tucked in.
Cold again today, so I'm sure some guys are wearing some winter gear. I've noticed, not so much here, but I've seen it in the past, where you're wearing that winter gear day after day after day, wiping your gloves off on there. You think that's going to protect you much anymore?
Probably not.
So make sure we got clean winter gear as well.
Think of some of those ignition sources out there. You got hydraulics. That seems to be the biggest thing, or electrical shorts, combined with hydraulics. It's been a couple of our fires here lately. Leaks of different things. Flares. If you're parked under one of those flares, the one that was shooting the big gobs of flaming oil that time, you got a big ignition source there. When your tractor decides it needs to regen and burn out that particulate filter, you got a huge potential for fire there. And brake fires. There's a laundry list of things you can think of. This is just kind of a short-term thing, but think about those things as you're going around. We're still talking for May about traffic awareness. Weather's getting nicer. You're going to start seeing more people out. There's a lot more construction going on.
Get nicer where?
Yeah. Well, when we talk about Texas, you'll find it's nicer there.
We got the spring, season's doing this.
Oh, you're talking about the 3 days we had last week.
So we
Yeah.
did have some nice days, but when we get these winter storms in the spring, they're like what we had happen now. I mean, I was driving through it last night, and windshield wipers were, filling up with snow pretty bad. And I did pass one of our trucks that was sitting on the shoulder of the road, and I'm assuming he was cleaning off his windshield wiper, but he didn't even have his hazards on or anything. So, just things to keep in mind. People might be sitting on the side of the road just because it's wider. They're cleaning off windshield wipers like they were last night. So.
And Shell was talking to us about an incident they had in one of their other regions. A guy driving for him, crude hauler, bottle of water was rolling along the floor, and he took his eyes off the road to grab that bottle of water. Truck goes over. He ends up rolling it. Remember how quick things can happen. Just seconds of inattention can cause problems. And then remember, PPE is your last line of defense. See a lot of guys forgetting their safety glasses or choosing not to wear them, however you want to put it. Talk to some of these guys that have had eye injuries, especially from bungee cords and things like that. They'll flat out tell you the importance of those. That it takes 2 seconds to put on a pair of safety glasses, as opposed to a lifetime of blindness or eye injury that could even disqualify you from driving if it's bad enough. Very, very quick, easy fix to make sure we do. Sam, Sarah, if you're having trouble with your camera, if it's hanging or it's in the cubby or you don't even see a camera in the thing, get a hold of Brian. He has cameras to put in. And remember, we're still having trouble with people just jumping in a truck and driving. You got to sign into the truck. That's a major violation. Or signing out and driving back to wherever they're going. Those miles will get assigned back to you. Stuck trucks. If you're stuck, you're stuck. Admit it. Don't make it worse. Don't damage the equipment. That's your moneymaker. If you really dig it in, then you're talking huge tow bills, and Gilby cringes every time he gets them. If the guys can get you out with a pickup or a front end loader from a rig site today on one of them, makes it pretty easy.
Don't forget that we are pulling a long trip. We got a couple different trailers here. Those trailers that got that tag on the front or turning radius on those 3 axles back there, we need to swing wider. So don't forget that those ones, we got to get that wider swing on them. We've had a couple of them that we got stuck where we just barely started pulling the trailer into the ditch. But as soon as it just had that little bit of an angle, with this mud, the whole thing slid down, put us in predicaments. So make sure you know where your trailer's tracking.
It's getting close to June here, so you're looking forward to the DOT Blitz in June, which they'll focus always on brakes and lighting. One other thing they're going to be looking at this year is the FMCSA green books that are in your trucks. If you look on page 3, it should show the copyright date of 2019. If it does not, see the shop. See Sean, we have new books, replace it. That's one they're going to look at, that you have the most current version in your truck. Easy money there. Also, with that Blitz coming up, we want to make it a little more proactive, if you will. When you're doing your pre-trips, we want pictures of the sides and front and back of your truck with your lights on. Because then it's easier for us to say, when he left this yard, here's your pictures. You guys can show a trooper, too, that I did a complete walk around. Because here's all my pictures. All my lights are working, everything at that time. Things break, things rattle loose. It happens. But at least we start with it. Gilby would like some pictures of the grind-out box as well as the cab of your truck, because lots of complaints about how bad those things are being left. The driver shouldn't have to get in and have to spend an hour, hour and a half cleaning out the grind out box to clean up everything before they can do their job. We're going to have to see if Sam Sarah will let us have 2 other pictures on there. If not, we'll figure a way to make it work where we can get those in there too. And we'll let you know on those.
A lot of you guys take pride in your vehicles that you have. I know we've got a lot of trucks that are breaking down. You guys have to jump from truck to truck. Please respect the trucks you're in. Yes, Prairie owns all the trucks and not the driver it's assigned to, but a lot of our drivers do take pride in it. And it's our work environment. It's our office. You'll feel better having a clean truck. So please, don't leave one messy for the next guy.
So is it safe to say then you guys are going to start coming down on these guys? Because it's been an ongoing problem for almost long time.
I need a solid thing on how I can hold people accountable. In the past, we talked about how we were going to try to detail the trucks once every 6 months and hold people accountable. Then we get ourselves into predicaments. Like, 4 days in a row, we just moved 60,000 barrels each day, and then we get a day like today. Now we're going to be probably hurting tomorrow, and even though I want to sit this guy because he left your truck messy, I don't know if that's the right choice there, but I need to find something to hold these guys accountable that, where they don't take pride in their equipment as well. Like I said, some of this equipment's getting worn out. Welsh is working on a plan to get rid of some of these real worn out trucks and get us some new trucks, and not like what we've been getting from Sioux Falls. We want those, oil-filled spec trucks, double frame, heavier duty rear ends. So that's the direction he's going, and hopefully they will last a little bit longer out there. You guys have been doing an amazing job to work. Weeks like this week is one of the reasons why we get paid the way we do. I don't know if I'd want to do this even at this pay if it was like this every single day, but these are some of the struggles that we got to deal with, and you guys have all come together as a team and got the job done. Just like with all the stuck trucks, there were several of you guys out there going over to help offload and pull the trucks out. I mean, we came together and we did this pretty efficiently and still had some record days. So thanks for all that.
Texas crude, they're averaging between 7,500 to 8,500 barrels a day. They are going to be picking up some more oil down there, so that is going to increase, which has been really good for them. The water side, they're right at about 8,000. Now remember, that does not include all the service work that those guys do out there. And they're moving a lot of water. Some of it just doesn't show in some of these things. Crude, we had some weather days and some slow days there too. But we're still, what were we? 47, 48,000?
We're averaging higher than that. So I would have to look at the whole numbers. Our worst 3 days we've had this month, I know 2 of them were yesterday and the day before. So, but we're still kind of pushing that 50 limit. I know we're well over 52 average. So.
We're doing a blood drive. For every picture we add to Facebook, Instagram, or any of that with any of those hashtags, go in and donate blood. It doesn't cost anything. And that blood gets used in a lot of ways, especially during the early parts of spring and into the summer with a lot of vehicle accidents and injuries and things like that. You have blood banks asking for donations. If you have questions, see Sarah or Kim. They'd be glad to talk to you about it. But it doesn't cost anything to do that. I have back here Supervisor Evaluations. We would like you to fill out evaluations on your supervisors. All of the supervisors and managers' names are at the top. If you're going to rate multiple supervisors or managers, 1 sheet per person, please. Don't lump them all into one because then we don't know what score goes with what. Be honest with it. Give them your thoughts, feelings, feedback. There's some spots to write what you think. And then take those directly to Sarah. We want those going right to her. And then Sarah will compile things on the management and supervisors. Texas Operations, so you guys are aware, that they're pushing over 100 degrees already, so they need to stay hydrated. Mary's doing a little contest for them for the month of May that she said April wasn't so good with ticket corrections. It was pretty bad. So she has some prizes for the fewest amount of ticket corrections. She said she's keeping a tally on it and wanted to remind them of that. Their speeds on gravel are absolute maximum 30 miles an hour. Less if it's bad conditions, because those roads down there are horrific. It's just beating the tar out of the moneymakers. And also, we wanted to remind them about the DOT checks in June, because it's just not Wyoming. That's nationwide that they do those. And for our Wyoming operations, there's a question online about, do we need to stay with animals if we hit them until authorities arrive? Livestock, yes. We need to stay there or until a supervisor gets there and can take over for you. We got to call on those. We also need to call Highway Patrol if we hit wildlife also. And don't forget, if you hit one, there's a state accident report form you have to do. It's a little one-pager thing. They usually ask you, is your truck drivable? And if they tell them yes, they will tell you to go down to the Highway Patrol headquarters here and get the vehicle versus wildlife form. And you fill that out and send it in. It's a little one-pager, well, 3/4 of a page.
2 things on the livestock. If we hit a livestock animal out there to drive away, that's a felony hit and run. The other thing with it is if we hit that animal and we get a hold of them right away and get a hold of the rancher, hopefully it's not the prize winning cow that way. If we drive away and it comes back, I guarantee it will be the prize winning cow. And that Pat's probably got he could start his own 4-H club if he had them all. So it's but it is. I've talked to the sheriff a couple times in the last month. The last one, he didn't think it was us. He was just hoping that we had some information because it is a felony leaving the scene or a hit and run there. Other incidents that we've had out there, if we do not call right away and have the sheriff or law enforcement relieve us from that, it will be considered leaving the scene of an accident. So the next time they do your MVR on you, even on your personal insurance, it might go up because of that.
Yeah, calf and lambing pastures, if you see the signs, keep the speeds down. We haven't had any complaints of us driving fast through there. There's just been lots of reminders. Please adhere to the speed limits or slower, especially with the lambs. Again, reminding you of the tank seals. If you're rejecting a load, your top strap needs to be in the comments and the seal on that tank needs to be put on there so you can prove that that's what it was when you were there.
And the tank number.
Yes, sir.
Because like on the Alaman Fed right now, I will say tap to select tank. Make sure you write down, either pick the tank and reject it or write the tank number on your paperwork. Please.
Fuel receipts, again, must be turned in daily with your paperwork. And that's just a mandatory. It's got to be turned in.
It's not just fuel receipts, it's any transaction you use your Comdata cards for. Must be turned in, no exceptions.
Tablets and printers. If you're having problems with your tablet and printer, or if it's not there, don't steal it out of the truck next to you. Robert spent the better part of 2 hours driving around grabbing extra tablets out of trucks, and this one didn't have them, but this truck's got 3. Come see Robert, and he will take care of printer issues and tablet issues for you.
If Robert or Brian are not here, dispatch has an extra tablet. It has to be signed out, and typically we want the other one back. We need a good reason why the truck doesn't have one. We'll fill all out that information so we can go back up on it. But we kind of built together a list this week of how many tablets we have versus equipment, and we're a third over. So if we're supposed to have 100, we got 130 that are assigned out that we're trying to figure out where this stuff's at. They may be expired and stuff like that, but we have them. We're paying for service on them. That's one reason why we need to know where this stuff is, and we don't want to pull it out of another truck. When I go back and look where tablet 261 belongs, it says it belongs in this truck, but this truck has 506 in it. It's been an issue. Same with grind out kits. If you're missing a part of yours, do not take it off another truck. Go see the parts room. Typically, they're going to want to see the broken part as well, but if we don't have one, we need to make sure you have the tools to do your job. That includes your tablet. We'll get what needs to be, but we have to research why the stuff's missing to begin with.
if you do H2S or Smith driving refresher training, look at my calendars on the wall there and see when Sarah and I are teaching these. If there's enough of you that need them on a certain day, we can do additional classes. But every other week we have both of those classes going on that you can come in with the new hires. And safety meetings. If you're unsure of how to get to YouTube, we can show you how to get to YouTube. Search for PFS Safety Team. Subscribe to us. Watch our movie. You'll see right below it. Now, if you're watching live, I copy all of this stuff for Ashley and LaDonna of all you guys that have signed in with your name. If it's after our live time, you'll see, click the below link to get credit for this meeting, and you'll see a little thing under it that says, click to see more. Click on that, and the link will come up. Click on it. It'll bring up the little questionnaire you have to fill out. If you go to the Prairie Field Services page off of the Prairie Company's main page, you go to the safety page all the way to the bottom, and it says learn more about our safety program. You click on that. It brings up the entire year's worth of all our meetings. Click on the one that you want to watch. Right below the video, it says click on link to get credit for this meeting. Click on, fill it out. As soon as you hit submit, they have it for payroll. They have to have that by Sunday. And we'll have it posted before that. Question online here, Gilby, for you is cell phone boosters. Some of them are in pretty bad shape in the trucks. Are we replacing those, or?
Throw it under DVR and also stop and let Josh or John know in the shop.
Yeah, and some of the lease roads, our producers aren't going to be fixing lease roads until it stops raining and dries out because of the cost.
So I got something to bring up on that. Did you guys see there's I think a couple times it came up on the Sam Sarah message. I hope all you guys know how to read your Sam Sarah messages. Is anybody familiar where Ted Cosner lives? It's off Cosner Road. It's kind of a back way in to get to the Lovitz or the Truitts. We cannot take that road. I do believe we just got two $2,000 fines today for trucks driving by there going in the back way. We have to come in to those wells off of 59. We got to pull up to that gate, open it, drive through, close the gate, go to our well, and come back out that way. I know it's easier if we go by Ted's house without that gate, but he does not want us on that road.
And I talked about the pre-post trips. Please take pictures. John would really appreciate that, because it comes in really handy. For the online things, you'll be looking for my safety focus word. Kind of a funny story on this one. Flying back after vacation in San Francisco. Get a pizza at one of the little stores there. And I guess only in California you have to have the warning that says open box before eating pizza. But look for something like that. I will have a focus word, and it'll either be highlighted or something like that. If you do the ones where you have to fill out the questionnaire, it'll ask what the safety focus word is. Please put that in there. And yes, that's this week's safety focus word. I just think that's crazy. Anything, questions or concerns out there? Kim.
So just a few things, like Gilby said, our notes that we send out on Sam Sarah. You guys need to be making sure to check that. It does have a lot of information in there. Some of it might not pertain to you. Some of it's just some updated information. But they do go through there and put stuff in there that you do need to know. For example, we have a committee that we're trying to come up with that is the employee, I don't know what the exact name for it's going to be, but it's like an employee emergency fund committee. And one of the things that we're putting out for that is that we're going to do a 50-50 raffle. So we're going to give you guys 2 weeks to buy tickets. You can come see myself or Sarah for that. $1 ticket, 6 for $5. And all the proceeds, like I said, we're going to put it into an employee emergency fund. So, we have an employee that something happens to them, we're able to help them out in whatever kind of way. And we're going to do things like that, you get a chance to win some money back. We might do some breakfasts. So that kind of stuff will be posted in there. Like Gilby said, the not taking that route was posted in there that obviously people didn't read. I put a note on there that I needed to know what everybody's unit number is and their license plate numbers, because we're trying to get those tracked, because we get renewals and all we have is license plate numbers. We don't have that down. I think got 5 people that gave me a response to that out of everybody, and I think 2 of them were leasers. So you guys need to actually be reading those messages and seeing what they say. Even if you're not working on Sundays, they're still there for you. When you come back on shift, they don't magically disappear. So make sure to still get in there and check those out. JSAs, like I've said before, guys, if you guys are marking false on anything, put something in the notes as to why you're marking false. If you don't, I don't have a clue. I currently have over 2,000 JSAs that people have marked false on, and not even half of them have a note on there. So let me know why you're marking it false, or we can't get anything to correct it.
JSAs. Rule is when we do a JSA, that's supposed to set the truck and it's for anybody else that comes on the location while we're there. Technically, we're supposed to go over with them and do the little tailgate meeting with them and have them sign it. How do we do this when it's electronic on this? We're supposed to be filling these out before we get out of the truck or after we get ready to go, or how do we do that?
So that
Supposed to be when you arrive. Well, when you arrive on location, you're supposed to have your JSA done before you even start the job,
right.
because you're going over the